I'm Muneeza, and I'm from Dallas, Texas. And currently, or not currently, I guess I'll start from the beginning. I'm going to do my best not to ramble. So I was laid off I was a machine learning engineer at a manufacturing company in Dallas, Texas. I was laid off in March 2024 due to budget constraints. And yes, it was actually budget constraints, not low performance or anything like that. I was laid off, and luckily I saw a WhatsApp notification regarding USA. I don't know how I found it, but I found it and I signed up. At the time, it was only software engineer program that they were hosting. So I signed up for that because I already had the Python skills and machine learning skills. So when I joined with this mobile app development, I thought it was interesting and useful. And I thought, why not we, meaning USA, create a mobile app that helps individuals achieve their career goals and aspirations? So I remember Lucy was telling me and the other interns at the time that if you have any career questions or anything about your resume, do let me know. And one day I messaged him. I told him about my career aspirations and goals. And lo and behold, this whole journey was about me looking into my weaknesses and strengths of my resume and the mock interviews. And then I got a couple of job interviews. Most of them didn't work out except for one. I passed all the rounds, got the job, and now I am currently working at the job that I just started 3 weeks ago. And it's going. It's about to be quite chaotic on my end, I think next month. But yeah. Oh, that was such a long journey because it took me almost 9 months to find a job. That may not be the case for all of you guys. Some people may find it in 5 months or 1 year. Everyone's journey is different because everybody's looking for different goals. Mine was a tech role that I was looking for. I'm a data analyst now at a utilities company in Dallas, Texas. For other people, I can't really say for anybody who was looking for non-tech roles, I can't really help you guys out on that, but I can tell you more. Oh, if you're looking for data science, data analyst roles, or machine learning, or maybe even product manager roles.
Is a product manager, BA, that's something they can consider, or QA. Remember, we say it's not that technical. But if who's looking into transition in IA, you can consider those type of jobs.
Yes, you're right. And speaking of product manager, I also later joined product management with AI program later in that same year. And that actually helped me tie in together my skills in the mobile app, my data analysis skills, and also how to communicate well regarding my product, which is the mobile app for careers. So that's what I'm currently working on as my project. And that's another thing I want to say is when I was with UFA, and I still am to this day, by the way, I learned how to be confident with myself in this horrible job market. Oof, it's horrible. And
It is.
it's still bad, but
Not easy.
they're predicting, I think they're predicting it should be a little better, like late 2025. That's the hope. I don't know. But I will say this, communication is really important nowadays. So if you're able to communicate well and be clear with your goals, be clear with expectation, then I notice people will be able to trust you more, and they might, as Gen Z and millennials say, vibe with you more. And that's what I learned throughout the interview process as well. When I was being interviewed and when I got the job, they cared about not just your hard skills, but also your communication skills. And because sometimes if you communicate well and you're honest about not what you learned, but what is your understanding of the task, you build rapport and you build trust with you and the manager. Obviously, that's if you have a good relationship with your manager. Not everybody will have that opportunity. Unfortunately, there's so many toxic people out there. That's a whole other topic. I'm not going down that path. But I'm saying that nowadays, that's the pattern I'm noticing when it comes to interviews and how to ace the interviews. It's more like of soft skills at this point. It also tries to add soft skills when you are putting on your resume. Like how can you explain business acumen, use your business acumen, explain business terms from your experiences. That's also another thing that I noticed in from other people who are job hunting is that yes, like I said, technical skills are important, but whatever you're working on, how does it translate to business acumen, like business concepts? If you're able to communicate and explain that to stakeholders who have non-technical background, or maybe somebody who doesn't work at the company at all, if you're able to explain it, like I said, then they will more likely gravitate towards you than the other can.
So Muniza, that one I know. Just let folks know that how did you gain that business acumen when you started with us? Was it from the software engineering side or from the product development side, that program that you started with?
So that's a really good question. I will definitely the product management side because the way they explain like the life cycle of the product management and how to communicate your product and why your product is important. I feel that's what helped me the most in that program.
Yep, thanks. Yep, yeah. Like you said, shared with me later on that you asked that HR, why did they choose you over two or three other candidates they are looking? And they did say that, yes, your communication. And then I remember when we are going through that program, that folks, that everyone have to present, come up with a product. And if you do not, we will give you ideas what that is. And then you will have your peers that you convince them that your product is more important than others, right? At the end of the day, it won't be only one idea. Muniza came up with multiples, and then I said, this one sounds like most realistic, and here is the reason, right? And then you'll have your whole team to build it. So the tomorrow you are going to see that I did not know, Muniza, if you can get even somebody from your team just show do a quick demo. But at least since we are going to do the kickoff for product development and software engineering, that you'll see that besides Muniza, other product owners, they're going to be sharing their product vision and where they're at with the journey. So that's why I think those who is today looking that in to get in job world, I know many folks has awesome hard skill, but we're trying to figure out how is this skill going to translate into the business. So business analyst and product engineering or product development, this kind of those teaches you those skills. And the other thing I think that Muniza had really honest Muniza that anyone that working with me that in her that I have seen her passion when she really loves something. She just like some people I say she's just like me. He's just like me. We just love what we do. We don't look at it. It's not a 9 to 5 job. When you love something, constantly think about it. How can you do better? So I remember when it at 11 midnight, it's a go to sleep. Don't think about it. So this kind of thing, when you demonstrate those things, the others automatically notice even during your interview. So you'll have things challenge that you'll say, you know what, I messed up. And it's a messed up too, right? And then there is a way to correct yourself because remember, people do business with people, right, Maniza? And then you
Yeah.
had a very nice email sent out, just an email, and then it worked out.
Yeah. I'm surprised it worked out. Interesting.
Because this is exactly those who is doing interview, right? I had so many interviews that dealt with, and I remember asking people question. Uh, it, things happens, but if I ever see somebody come back and after say, "Hey, I thought about this question, this and that you did," and as I thought about it, here is more. And then please do reconsider. I will think twice before I reject that candidate. Okay? We do it. So we forget. That's why now many of you that whatever you do, your first interview, think of that. What could you do different? And then in the first interview, I think when Munija was like, hey, you know, I said, no, no, I think there is I see something in you. You just have a faith. Send this email, send this, and then you are going to see something might happen. And it happened, right?
Yeah.
So confidence. The other thing what we look for that in candidates, that confidence is something that at the beginning I remember that this journey is going to happen that Munija, you need to do it. Don't be so desperate. If you ever go interview and you are showing that you are so desperate, you are sweating and stuff, nervousness, you're nervous, that's I understand, but try to control being nervous and being desperate. Nobody wants to take somebody who's so desperate, they'll do anything to get the job. Because that the moment the other person see the weakness in you and they'll say this person is so desperate, and then they will try to drill more and more in your brain from your resume, and then at the end they'll find some weakness. One of the weakness are things that those who is working on and say I don't have an experience. I think we mentioned that yesterday, even today. Get an experience from any place, whatever you are passionate about. But nonprofit, so many nonprofit organizations today offer some kind of help, right? Or even work for some company. They will take you if you think that's aligned with your career. But get the skill. Don't and if you see that I have the gap, there is a way to explain that once you gain that experience. Okay.
Also, I want to add that so recently I had to introduce myself to like different mini teams and a bigger team because I work in corporate world. And they asked me, where did you work the last time before I joined? And I said, I worked remote at a nonprofit organization. And people were curious, but in a good way. Like people were pretty surprised or impressed is an exaggerated word, but let me say impressed. And they were like, what did you work on? And I told them, oh, it's a nonprofit organization that tackles food insecurity. And now they're working on helping people find or achieve their career goals. And we're also digital marketing and other and financial literacy, AI literacy. And people are like, oh, wow. So you did all these things. I'm like, I dabbled in all these things, but my main focus was career. But because that was something I was passionate about at that time and still am. And I was able to explain that both technically and also on the business side during my interviews and also when I'm explaining to people about what I do. So I noticed that if you work at a nonprofit organization, you have a better, it's going to help you with your experiences and people would be impressed. Like, oh, okay, because you're doing something you're passionate about and you're able, and also you have autonomy to gain whatever experience you want to have. So I think that's one of the great benefits of working at a nonprofit organization like USA.